Medicaid is a joint state and federal program that provides medical insurance to people in need. Medicaid is created by a federal statute. Through the Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, the federal government establishes the requirements for Medicaid plans. On the state side, each state creates and administers its own Medicaid plan that complies with those federal requirements. Each state must fund part of its own plan, but the federal government matches a percentage of the state's Medicaid spending, regardless of how much the state spends. Traditionally, to be eligible for Medicaid, an individual must satisfy both a non-financial and a financial need requirement. These dual eligibility requirements are combined in three ways. The first combination is for mandatory categorically needy people. A state's Medicaid plan must cover this group. To meet this group's non-financial need requirement, a person must fall into one of several specific needy categories, such as being over a certain age, blind, permanently and totally disabled, pregnant, or a child in a poor family. To meet the group's financial need requirement, a person must have income low enough to qualify for other federal assistance programs, usually by falling below the federal poverty level, and the person must have limited assets. If a blind person had a low income but then received a $50,000 inheritance, this person would meet the mandatory category's non-financial need requirement and the income part of the financial need requirement. But the person wouldn't meet the low asset requirement until the inheritance was spent. Further, the blind person couldn't just give away the inheritance money to qualify. If someone transfers assets for less than their full value in the 5 years before applying for Medicaid, the person will be denied Medicaid benefits in an amount that essentially equals the amount of that lost value. So if the blind person gave the inheritance to a relative, the blind person still wouldn't qualify under the mandatory needy people category for a period of time equal to $50,000 of Medicaid benefits.